What if I told you that some of the most successful AI agencies in the world are charging thousands of dollars for what amount to be a carefully structured paragraph of text? Yeah, I'm talking about AI prompts. It sounds incredible, but it is absolutely true also. There are people who are paying thousands of dollars to just get a very good prompt written for their businesses. I'm not talking about those simple prompts that you see. I'm talking about complex structured prompts which help business owners achieve the result or get the specific output that they want, because these prompts are very context and very logic driven. So they are not those just simple paragraphs. They are very thoughtful. They are very structured in a nature so that it can help the businesses to achieve the outcome that they want with the AI. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Romy Singh, and today I'm going to break down something that's typically kept behind closed door by this top AI agencies. I'm going to share the exact AI prompting framework they use to develop prompts that deliver exceptional results for their high paying clients. And I personally use this prompt to deliver my AI consultation services. This is not basic prompt engineering tips you can find anywhere just by doing simple Google. This is a systematic approach. I'm calling this approach FIRE framework. It's a professional grade framework used by top AI agency to structure prompts that consistently deliver precise and reliable results, even dealing with most complex business logics and challenges. Whether you are an AI consultant looking to elevate your AI skill, or a business leader wanting to improve the internal operation of their AI systems or AI automation, or you are just someone who's fascinated about how AI is implementing the world, this video will give you a concrete framework you can apply immediately right now. By the end of this tutorial, you will understand each component of the FIRE framework, see a real example of how it transforms a mediocre prompts into exceptional ones, and have a complete template you can adapt to your specific use cases. So stay tuned. Before we dive into the details, let me give you a roadmap of what we will be learning today. We will be covering 5 key areas of the FIRE framework. First, we will explore what truly differentiate elite prompts from the basic and average ones, uncovering the fundamental principles that make the professional grade prompts so effective and reliable. Second, a high level overview of the complete FIRE framework, explaining how each component works together to create a cohesive system that helps you create amazing prompts which produces reliable outputs every single time. Third, we'll do a deep dive into each component of the FIRE framework with a specific example of how to implement each one effectively. Fourth, we will put everything together with a complete example showing you the dramatic difference between a basic prompt and one structured with the FIRE framework. And finally, we will cover a practical application, common pitfalls to actually avoid, and a free gift for you from me. By the end of this video, you will have a complete system you can implement immediately to transform your AI interaction from basic to elite grade. Now that you know where we are headed, let's begin by understanding what makes elite prompts fundamentally different from those mediocre and average prompts. Before I even share the glimpse of the FIRE framework prompting technique, it's very important to understand what separates the professional grade prompts from the basic one, because if we don't know the difference, we won't be able to convey the value these prompts deliver to the clients, and that's a huge setback for you, because if you fail to communicate the value you bring to the table by delivering this writing this professional grade prompts, then you won't be able to grow and scale your AI consultation service or agency. So at its core, an elite prompt is not just about getting a good output from the AI once. It's about creating a reliable, reproducible system that works consistently across different contexts and variation of the problem. When I personally analyze dozens of high-performing prompts from the leading AI agencies, I notice four key differences that consistently appeared in those prompts. First, elite prompts provide a sophisticated framing that goes beyond simple role assignments. For example, rather than just saying you are a helpful assistant, these prompts establish precise operating parameters and detailed context. You will see the example of this later in this videos, so stay tuned. Second, they utilize carefully engineered constraints. The best prompts don't just tell AI what to do, they explicitly define the boundaries and limitations that prevent unwanted outputs. Third, professional prompts incorporate robust error handling. They anticipate the potential issues and include specific instruction on managing those error cases. And finally, they embed evaluation criteria directly into the prompt itself, giving the AI a context or a format that this is the clear standard against which you need to match your output and then present it to the user, to the end user. These elements are not just put together, they follow a structured framework that produces consistent high quality results, and that's exactly what the FIRE framework is designed to provide. The FIRE framework consists of four components which together create a comprehensive system for developing elite grade prompts. Let's break down each letter in the acronym so that you can understand the meaning behind the word FIRE. F stands for framing. This establishes the precise context, role, and purpose of the interaction. I represent instruction. These are the detailed, structured directives that guide the AI's processing approach. R is for restriction. These are explicit constraints and boundaries that define what AI should not do. And in the last, E indicate evaluation. This provides specific criteria for AI to self-assess its response before actually delivering it to the user. Together, these four elements create the complete system that guides the AI through complex tasks with precision and reliability. What makes this prompt particularly powerful is how each component addresses a specific weakness in how large language models operate. The framing compensates for the model's lack of inherent context. The instruction provides procedural guidance. The restriction prevents common failure modes. And evaluation improves the output quality through implicit self-review. Let's now examine each component in detail with example of how they transform basic prompts to professional grade ones. The first component of FIRE framework prompting technique is framing. This is where we establish the foundation for the entire prompt. This goes far beyond simple role assignment. It creates a comprehensive operating environment for the AI. An effective framing has three key elements. The first element is context specification. This provides relevant background information, setting the stage for what follows. For example, instead of simply saying, "Help me write an email for product launch" or for a feature launch, you might specify, "I am a marketing manager preparing for a product launch to our existing customer base of primarily small business owners who have previously purchased our entry-level software product." Second element is role definition. This establishes the precise role and expertise level that AI should adopt to generate the response. Rather than a generic line, "You are an assistant," you should use, "You are a senior communication strategist with 15 plus years of experience in B2B technology, marketing, and specialization in customer retention campaigns. Third element is outcome clarification. This clearly states what success looks like. For example, your objective is to craft an email that achieves a 15% click-through rate by highlighting the value proposition of our new feature while acknowledging the customer's existing relationship with our products. Let me show you a complete example of how a proper framing transforms a basic prompt into a powerful one. Basic prompt. This is what most people write AI to get the output. Write me a sales email for our new software product launch. With Fire Framework technique, first we'll give the context. Our company is launching version 2.0 for our productivity software that adds AI-powered features to our existing document management system. Our target audience consists of current customers who are mid-level managers and at financial institutions who are originally adopted our softwares 10 months ago. Then you define the role. You are our chief marketing officer with expertise into the B2B SaaS space, particularly when introducing new technology capabilities. Third, you set the outcome. Create a sales email that achieves a 20% conversion rate by emphasizing how the new AI features solve specific pain points of our customers have expressed about document processing efficiency. Notice how this prompt is so different from the basic prompt that mostly everyone used to get the output from the AI. Framing doesn't just tell what AI to do, it creates a complete context that allow AI to step into a specific perception or see the task with a specific perspective and understand exactly what it needs to do. When implementing framing in your own prompt, spend time defining these three elements clearly. The more specific you can be about the context, role, and desired outcome, the better your results will be. The second component in the FIRE framework is I, which stands for instruction. This is where you provide the detailed guidance on how the AI should approach the task. This is all about the process, not just outcome. Elite prompts don't just say what the AI should do, they specify how the AI should do it also. This typically includes three key factors into it. First, the procedural steps, a clear sequence of steps the AI should follow in its thinking process. Second, method-based or framework-based approach, the specific technique or framework the AI should employ in its thinking process to produce the output. Third is resource allocation, guiding on how to balance different aspects of the task. Now let's transform our previous example or the prompt that we were writing using the FIRE framework technique by adding the next component, which is instruction. Follow this process. Analyze the customer's likely current users patterns and pain point based on their role and industry. Second, identify 3 to 5 specific new AI features that directly addresses those pain points. Third, craft a narrative that bridges their current experience with the enhanced capabilities. Fourth, structure the email using the PASS strategy, which is problem, agitation, and solution strategy, with particular emphasis on the agitation phase to highlight the opportunity cost of not upgrading. Fifth, develop a clear ROI focused call to action. Allocates approximately 60% of the content to concrete benefits and 40% to establish the urgency. Now, this is how our prompt should look after just employing two component of the FIRE framework techniques. First is framing, second is instruction. As you can see down, this looks really a lengthy and very effective prompt just to get an email to send it to our current database so that they will upgrade. And did you notice something? How these instructions don't just repeat what we want, they provide specific guidance on the approach to take and the thinking process to follow for the AI. This level of details dramatically improves the quality and consistency of the AI's output. For your own prompts, think about breaking complex tasks into clear, specific steps. Specify the exact method or framework you want to be applied and provide guidance on how to allocate attention of the AI across different aspects of the task. The third component in FIRE framework prompt writing technique is R, which stands for restriction. This is where you establish clear boundaries and constraints for the AI model. This is often the most overlooked element in the basic prompt writing, but it is very critical for professional prompt writing because this is what helps you get consistent and reliable result always. Effective restriction typically include three things. First, content boundaries, explicit statements about what should not be included in the output. Second, format limitation, specific constraints on length, structure, or presentation of the output. Third, assumption control, guidance on what assumption the AI should or should not make. Now let's continue building our example prompt by adding the third element, restriction, to it. We have already added framing and instruction to it. Now let's add the restriction to it. The first restriction, do not exceed 300 words total for the email body. Second, do not mention specific competitors by name. Avoid technical jargon related to how the AI functions internally. Focus exclusively on outcomes for the users. Third, do not include pricing detail or discount offers as this will be personalized later. Fourth, do not make specific claims about percentage improvements in efficiency without framing them as an estimates. Fifth, do not use more than one call to action. Avoid hyperbole that might damage the credibility like words revolutionary or game changing. These restrictions create clear boundaries that prevent common issues in sales email. They keep content focused, professional, and within specific parameters that matches the company strategy. And it also make the AI output look very human generated. Like it has, the thinking that we put like when writing an email, you will see the hints of those that, okay, there are some thinking went behind writing this email. When developing restriction for your own prompt, think about potential areas where AI might go wrong or fall off the ground, which usually are format issues or role issues or making fake assumptions or false assumption. So try to counter or restricts those things by adding restriction statements around those. The fourth and the last component of the FIRE framework prompt writing technique is E, which stands for evaluation. This is where you define the criteria by which the AI should assess its own responses before delivering it to the user. This self-evaluation mechanism creates an implicit review steps that significantly improves output quality. It typically includes three things. First, quality criteria, specific standards that response should meet before it's presented to the user. Second, verification steps, checks the AI should perform on its own response before giving it to the user. Third, success indicators, clear markers of what constitutes a successful response. Let's complete our last example by adding the last component to it. We have already added the framing, instructions, and restriction to it. Now let's add the evaluation component to it. Before submitting your final response, evaluate it against this criteria. First, does this email directly addresses at least three specific pain points relevant to the financial document processing? Second, is the past strategy or the structure clearly implemented with the appropriate emphasis on the agitation section? Third, are all benefits described in terms of outcomes rather than features? Fourth, is the language appropriate for a mid-level financial manager with no technical background? Fifth, does the call to action creates clear urgency without seeming aggressive? Sixth, is the total word count under 300 words? Seventh, is the tone consistent with an established business relationship rather than cold outreach? If any of the criteria are not met, revise the email accordingly before providing your final answer. Now, these are the four components of the FIRE framework prompt writing techniques. This evaluation component essentially asks the AI to review its own output before submitting it to the user. This significantly improves the quality and relevance of the output. For your own prompts, think about the specific standards that matters most for your use case. What verification steps would ensure quality and what specific elements would indicate success for you. Putting it all together, we have explored each component individually. Let's see how they all fit together in a complete prompt written by using FIRE framework prompting technique. Again, I'll show you the example that we have been writing in this video, which is about this writing a sales email for a product launch. Compare this prompt to our original basic prompt, which was write me a sales email for our new software or product launch. The difference is very dramatic. The FIRE framework prompt technique provides complete context, clear instruction, sets specific boundaries, and provides evaluation criteria that guides the AI towards a precise high quality output. While the basic prompt might yield something generic or good depending on your luck, but the FIRE framework prompt will consistently produce professional grade content that achieve the specific business objective. Practical application and adaptation. Now that you understand the complete FIRE framework prompt writing technique, let me tell you how you can adapt it into different scenario and use cases if you are running a digital AI agency or you are offering AI consultation service. The framework is very flexible and can be applied to virtually any AI task. Here are some examples of how you might adapt it into different scenarios. First is content creation. When developing a prompt for blog post or social media content or other content, emphasize the audience and tone in your framing. Provide clear structural guidance in your instruction. Set boundaries for topics to avoid in your restriction, and focus your evaluation on engagement metrics and brand consistency. Second use case, data analysis. For analytical tasks, use framing to specify the dataset context and business question. The instruction to detail the analytical approach and prioritization. Third, the restriction to clarify data limitation and assumptions, and the evaluation to ensure the statistical validity and business relevance. Third scenario, customer service. When developing automated responses, focus your framing on customer segment and issue type, your instruction on the tone and resolution process, your restriction on policy limitation and escalation triggers, and your evaluation on accuracy, empathy, and resolution completeness. The key to successfully adapting the FIRE framework prompt writing technique is to maintain all four components while tailoring the specific content of each of your particular use cases. Here's a practical tip. Start by creating template for each of four components that you can customize for different categories of tasks. This dramatically speeds up the process of creating new prompts while ensuring consistency across all your AI operations. For organization implementing this at scale, consider developing a prompt library with FIRE framework templates for common business processes. This creates a valuable asset that can be refined and improved over a time based on actual performance data. Some common pitfalls that you need to know about and how you can avoid them. Even if you are really good at writing prompt using the FIRE framework prompt writing technique, there are common pitfalls that can reduce the effectiveness of your prompts. Let's address the most frequent issues I have observed and how to avoid them. First issue is overly rigid instruction. While detailed guidance is very important, instructions that are too prescriptive can limit the AI's ability to leverage its capability. So you have to strike a balance. You have to maintain the balance in your structure with room for the model to apply its creativity and its knowledge. Second is contradictory element. Ensure that your framing, instruction, restriction, and evaluation criteria don't contradict each other. This is particularly common when adapting existing prompts rather than building them from scratch. Third is neglecting domain knowledge. The FIRE framework works best when combined with genuine domain expertise. Don't substitute structure for subject matter knowledge. Incorporate relevant industry concept and terminology in your prompt. Fourth is insufficient testing. Even well structured prompts need testing and refinement. Implement a systematic approach or process where you evaluate your outputs against your business objective and iterate accordingly. Fifth is framework bloat. As you become comfortable with the framework, resist the temptation to make your prompts unnecessarily complex. Every element should serve a clear purpose. If it doesn't improve the output, remove it. A practical approach to avoiding this pitfall is to implement a peer review process for your most important prompts, where someone familiar with the framework but not involved into the prompt writing process can provide an objective feedback that will help you improve the prompt. Or simply, you can let the prompt sit down for a few hours and then come back later to it and go through it with a fresh new perspective that will give you ideas to make adjustment so that the prompts will become more better. We have covered a lot of ground today, from understanding the component of the FIRE framework technique to explore the practical use case of the FIRE framework prompt writing technique. If you are running an AI agency or if you are offering an AI consultation as service. Just to recap, the FIRE framework consists 4 components. First is framing, establishing context, role, and desired outcome. Second is instruction, providing procedural guidance and method-based approach. Third is restriction, setting clear boundaries and constraints. Fourth is evaluation, embedding quality criteria and verification step. This framework transforms basic prompts into professional grade asset that consistently deliver high quality output for complex business tasks. If you are ready to implement the FIRE framework in your own business, here are the next steps you can take. First is download my FIRE framework template from the link in the description. Second is choose one common use case in your work and rebuild your existing prompt using the framework. Third is test the new prompt against your original version and measure the difference in quality and consistency. Fourth is gradually expand to other use cases, building a library of FIRE structured prompts. For those interested in diving deeper, I have created a comprehensive FIRE framework implementation guide that includes additional examples, case studies, and specialized adaptation for different industry. You will find the link in the description below. If you found this video valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe for more in-depth content on maximizing the value of AI in your business. And don't forget to share your result with the FIRE framework prompt writing technique in the comments. I would love to hear about your success and your challenges. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.